Everybody, my name is. I don't even know what my name is. Hey there, Habs fans from around the world. I'm Rick. Welcome to Talkin' Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. If you're a Habs fan like I am, subscribe and ring the bell. Leave a comment or give a thumbs up if you like the video. All right, so this is Talking Habs news today, and we got a bunch of different. Well, I got a bunch of different stories, mostly Habs related. There's just one that's not, and I'm going to tell you all about them. So, without wasting any time, let's get right into it because there's a few things to talk about here. So, first one I want to lead with is the one that's not Habs story, but Ryan Reaves. Ryan Reaves was traded by the Vegas Golden Knights to the New York Rangers, and they got a third-round draft pick in 2022. And let me get rid of that. And that's more than they got for Marc-Andre Fleury. Like, that's just insane that they got more for Ryan Reaves than they got for Marc-Andre Fleury. But to me, it's like it kind of shows you the direction maybe the league is going in. Right? Kind of the American influence. This is what I'm saying. I think this is the American influence, right? The reason the refs are, I want to say getting away with murder, but just letting everything happen and the violence, the dangerous stuff that's going on right now. I think that's the American influence. And just something that kind of shows that direction that a guy like Ryan Reaves can get more than you can get for Marc-Andre Fleury. Now, I get it that goalies don't traditionally bring you back the biggest return. I guess that's how I'm going to put it. But, I mean, that's kind of crazy. Now, it's also for sure their answer for last year. If you guys remember when Washington, when Tom Wilson basically threw, well, it looked like it anyway, that he threw Artemi Panarin around like a rag doll. And you got to figure that that's the reason they went out and got Reaves. Apparently, Reaves has said before to teams that they should sign him because he's their answer to Tom Wilson. So there you go. So New York Rangers, I guess, answering the bell on Tom Wilson. So I wonder what that's going to look like during the season, if there's going to be any kind of big fights between Wilson and Reaves. We'll see. But that's the American way, right? Everything is, is violent, dangerous, anything to get the crowd going. And maybe that's the answer to why the refs are being allowed to just ignore so many of those kind of incidents. It seems like it anyway against Montreal. All right, next one is former Habs goalie, Charlie Lindgren. So, I said former. He signed on with St. Louis Blues. I don't have any details of the contract. I don't imagine it's to be the backup on the big team, but he signed with St. Louis. So Charlie Lindgren off to St. Louis. Next one up is Eric Raymond is the new Habs goalie coach. So everyone's confused when they see that they just hired Sean Burke. They did hire Sean Burke, but it wasn't really to be the goalie coach. That was a temporary thing. He is the director of goaltending, so he's moved on to do that. And they brought in Raymond. He's previously worked with Ducharme in Halifax with the Mooseheads. So, like I said, Sean Burke was a temporary fill-in, and he's going to be the director of goaltending. I don't know exactly what that means, but I think he's going to oversee the goaltending for all the Habs goaltending through all the leagues, through their system, and that's development and all that. So that's what he's moving on to. And Eric Raymond is the new goalie coach. Next up, this one I got a picture for, former Hab, John Merrill. Very briefly, as a Hab, we got him at the trade deadline last year. He's moved on to the Minnesota Wild, and he signed a one-year contract there, and it's for apparently $850,000. So Merrill, if anybody was worried that Montreal might re-sign Merrill, not happening. Let's see. So here comes the, I guess the bad news. The bad news, and I don't have a picture for it, unfortunately, but Corey Perry. Well, let's put it this way. Tampa Bay signed Corey Perry to a 2-year, $2 million contract. That's $1 million, actually, obviously, AAV. So Montreal apparently offered more money to Perry which I wouldn't imagine was a ton more, but probably something like $1.2 million. But only on a 1-year deal. Tampa was offering 2. Tampa Bay's beaten the teams that Corey has played on in the Stanley Cup final for the last 2 seasons. And it's kind of like he says, you know what, if you can't beat them, join them. But Corey Perry, unfortunately, gone to Tampa Bay, so that's going to hurt. That hurts. I didn't like Perry when we got him. I really didn't. But, man, do I have respect for the guy, the way he played here in Montreal. Got a ton of respect for him, for his leadership. And, I wish him the best. I think it's kind of unlikely he's going to win a cup with Tampa this year because I don't think Tampa's going to repeat. It's unlikely that they're going to repeat and get their third one. But, hey, best of luck to Perry. Listen, if it's not Montreal going to win the cup, well, maybe a team that Perry's on, right? Next up. So to replace Corey Perry, the Habs signed left wing, I can't get the name, Mathieu Perreault. He is the son of former Hab Yannick Perreault. So there's that kind of that bloodline that ties there. So it's a 1-year contract for $1 million. Actually, I think it's $950,000. Now, when I first got the information, and before I looked it up, everybody was saying Perreault was a center, and he'd probably take third-line center. But it turns out he's not. He's a left wing. He did play center early in his career, but apparently over the last 4 or 5 years, he has moved to the wing. So he's been a Winnipeg Jet the past 7 seasons. He was, like I said, a center at the beginning of his career. He's been a left wing for the last 4 or 5 seasons. So it's a bit of an upgrade, I think, regular season-wise on Perry on the wing, in that Perreault basically going to get you 10 to 15 goals, upwards of 20 maybe on a really good season, and 30 to 40 points on a pretty regular basis. We'll look at his record in a second. So I think it's an upgrade there during the regular season, but you can't take away what Corey Perry brings in the playoffs. And I hope Perreault does. I will say this: we played the Jets this season. We all know this past season, beat them swept them 4 in a row in the second round. But I do remember a couple of games where Mathieu Perreault got these goddamn timely goals for Winnipeg. And, not a lot of offense on Winnipeg's side, but Mathieu Perreault was kind of like a thorn in our side through that series. So maybe that's a good thing when for him coming here. I'm going to go over his numbers, but I want to say with the abundance of wingers that are now on this team, it's got to make you wonder if there's a trade or 2 coming up soon. Now, remember I said that for the next story, but I want to show you a couple of things here. Let's go over this here. So this was something that I saw, or someone put up that I saw, and to show his face-off percentage wins. But you look at it, face-offs that he's taken over the years, they go from big numbers down to, you see in 2017-18, it dropped to 59 face-offs because he moved to the wing, and he stayed on the wing ever since. So I don't know that his face-off percentages are going to help here, because I don't know if he's playing center or wing. I doubt he's playing center. He may occasionally, I don't know, and he obviously will occasionally take a face-off. So I don't know that his face-off percentage in his career really matters here. So they signed him to, do I need to even read this? I said everything in here. He's from Drummondville. He had 19 points last season in 56 games. So you can see that's about a 30-point season in an 82-game schedule. And that's, if he plays on the 4th line, that's not bad. Not bad at all. And he had 2 points in 8 playoff games with the Jets. So I guess that the 2 points he had were 2 goals against Montreal. I'm pretty sure 2 goals in that 1 game against Montreal. So he's a bit of a thorn in the side. His career numbers look like this. He started out with Washington, took him a few years to break in and be a regular. Oh, no, I was looking at his goals total. But you can see he's, his career high is 45 points. But he's pretty consistent in getting you, he's going to get you that 20 to 40 points. Let's put it that way, you know. He may be boosted a little bit by being here in Montreal. His father played here. He's from Drummondville, so basically a local kid. We'll see how he handles the pressure here. As we all know, for Drew and Deneau, that didn't work out well. Montreal's brought in now four new Francophone players. And it's obviously a new direction that they're going in, because they want to please our premier here, Monsieur Legault. It seems, because he made that comment, and then all of a sudden we got 4 new Francophone players. And I'm not complaining. I don't really care what language a guy speaks, where he's born. Is he good? Bring him here. That's all I really care about in the long run. But it is good for the team, obviously, marketing-wise, to have more Francophone players. And I've said that in the past. I have no problem with it. It's just that it's weird. The premier says it, and then boom, a month later, this is what happens. Okay, next up. One more story. And because that leads us into something. And this is interesting. Okay, Montreal acquired, well, I'll say it this way. Former Buffalo Sabre and new Hab, Jean-Sebastien D, takes a jab at Jack Eichel. And that is here. So apparently, long story short here, he did an interview, and in the interview, he talks about his former captain, and he kind of took a jab at him, and he said the big difference between Jack Eichel and Sidney Crosby is leadership. Quote, all I can tell you is that he's no Sidney Crosby. He's not a bad person, but maybe there are reasons why Buffalo was in a situation like that, meaning how bad they've been over the last couple of seasons. So it's a jab at him. So now that leads into, apparently, Montreal is still in the Jack Eichel sweepstakes. I'm reading this morning on Twitter. They have an offer in, and they're waiting to hear from Buffalo. So I asked the question, maybe that's the reason for all these newly acquired wingers. We've all been wondering, is there a trade coming? Something's up. Why do we have all these new wingers? And maybe that's what's happening here, is that they need the wingers to make the deal. I mean, I don't know. I'm just assuming here, or I'm just trying to figure it out, right? So apparently Montreal's still in the Eichel sweepstakes. We'll have to see. Now, everybody who says I was crazy that Jack Eichel was not a fan of Montreal, and this is a quote from Eichel from TSN 690, I was a Canadiens fan in Boston. So anybody who said I was nuts and I don't know what I'm talking about, boom, right there. Let's see now. Here's where I'm getting this from, by the way. This is from Randy Timmons. No, he doesn't have a check mark, but he has been very accurate very often. And I follow him on Twitter. And, yeah, I mean, a lot of times he actually is telling me what's going on. So it says, to be clear, I have no information on whether the recent Habs offer was accepted or not by Buffalo. I don't think we're there yet. Other teams are still in the mix as well and are also waiting on medical reports before going further. Eichel camp want a resolution pronto. Apparently, after a full day of back and forth yesterday between Montreal and Toronto, Habs have upped their offer for Eichel and are waiting for the clear medical report. A few teams have dropped out of the sweepstakes, notably Minnesota. Few teams remain. Now, this is coming from, I'm not sure exactly. I think this is still today that this came out. So, anyway, I asked that question. Is that why we have so many extra wingers here? Are they trying to still pick up Jack Eichel? I'm not 100% worried about that D comment about Eichel being not a great leader. First of all, it's a horrible situation in Buffalo. He did not really want to be there in Buffalo. Don't ask me why he resigned, but he did not really want to be there, at least for the last few seasons. So I can understand that a bit. And I don't know that that would be the same situation here coming to Montreal, right? So I'm not too worried about that. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about that, what you think about any of these stories here. Do you think Jack Eichel's coming to Montreal? And what's the reason for all the wingers that we've got? Because we got so many, there's got to be a move happening somewhere soon. He's got to be planning something. I don't see how we go into the season so overloaded with all these wingers. So we'll see what's going on. Yeah, I know they're not upper echelon wingers. I get that, but something seems to be going on, in my opinion, anyway. So let me know in the comment section. Give a thumbs up if you like the video, and please subscribe, ring the notifications bell if you haven't already, and that'll get you your daily fix of Blue Blanc Rouge right here at Talking Habs. And I guess till next time, till there's some news, especially if the Eichel trade happens, and definitely going to come out and tell you all about it. So there you go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please stay safe out there. Peace out, y'all, and I'll see you next video. Bye, everybody.